That's never gonna get old.
I'm fine. I will
It's
recover from this sun poisoning for a week or two.
As long as you take it easy, junk, you're good.
Yeah, hydrating and
Sun
having to
poisoning?
moisturize a lot.
How has no one heard of sun poisoning and already I Googled it?
I know, I'm shocked that, well, the thing is, I'm also starting to peel right now.
Ooh.
Which, actually, that's the good thing. Your body's rejuvenating itself.
Dustin, you missed it when I played the freaking Lil Jon cooking about a book mix.
That's great, my friend.
So you're the one that sent it to me in the first place.
Oh.
Oh, actually, I do have something. It's recently from Abba and Preach.
Yeah, you probably have to link it.
It has to do with Trisha.
Yeah, right, I'm interested. Only because, yeah, it's funny to watch human
All right,
train
go
wrecks.
ahead.
Today's topic.
Keemstar goes on to talk about a 20-year-old that he's currently seeing, and he's seeing a lot, according to his words. He made it clear within the first few minutes that this is not a fan. He goes, I know a lot of people say the power play, the power position, the power manipulation, which is a huge thing onto its own when you're older, richer, and more successful. You have this power and you have the ability to control this person based on those three things, and he matches all the criteria. Now, even if you don't match all the criteria, Keemstar is 39, he'll be 40 next year, dating a 20-year-old. It has been scientifically proven, I have been told this time and time again, that the female mind, because he's with a female, the female mind, natural born female mind, does not fully develop until the age of 25. With males, sometimes it's up to age 30. So, obviously that's why they say you don't get married in your 20s and like make life decisions in your 20s, because 20s you change so much mentally. Like you are physically your mind is changing so much. You're figuring out right and wrong, you're figuring out all this stuff, but if you have a much older person,
Bro, what are we watching? Big YouTuber, apparently dating some new girl. She's 20.
She's 20. Next subject. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. She's 20. I don't care. I don't care. He could have been 65. I don't care. I don't care. What happened to the girl? Oh my God, if you tell me nothing, I don't care. We're making a thing out of a thing that's not a thing. She's 20. She's a 20-year-old. They don't develop at their family. She's 20. I don't care.
she knows. And I don't ever victim blame the 20-year-olds or the under 25-year-olds. Like, they...
Shut up!
They don't know?
Shut up! Shut up!
Hey, go tell the niggas in the hood who committing crimes at 20 that they don't know what they doing.
Yo, they commit crimes.
So we charging 20-year-olds, giving them 25 to life,
Bruh.
but they can't choose to
Bruh.
fuck somebody twice their age?
Bruh.
Oh, no, okay.
They can actually charge someone as low as 14.
Bruh,
So I don't care.
You know what? Let me channel some of that I don't care energy. Can I get that?
Take it.
Okay.
I don't care.
Bitch, I can go to the military and go kill some Taliban. I can get killed by the Taliban. I can go over there and do no killing. I could just go over there and shoot the sky, take some poppy seeds, have a good time. I could do that. I could buy a house. I could take $100,000 in loans. I could start becoming a doctor. I could disown my parents. What? Did you know that you could disown your parents? Them bitch ass. Yes, you can. You can do a lot of things when you're 20. But you can't fuck a 40-year-old. What? Why not? But you know, he has so much money and power. People like that shit. You can't fly to Dubai? Get a rich nigga, he'll fly you. It's none of my business. Y'all some grown-ass adults. Here's what I'm gonna say. If you want to have your way, okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. You are no longer an adult. You no longer get to make any of those decisions. You don't get to choose anything. You are going to be a fucking child until you're 25. Because that's what you want to be treated like. Apparently, motherfuckers ain't got the agency to make decisions for themselves. So we're gonna come in for them and be like, you can't accept this. Not recognizing that women naturally want to go for men who are older, bigger, stronger, faster, and make more money. Hypergamy is a real part of existence. If it's not for you, keep it fucking pushing. I can't sit there and talk to 18-year-olds because it's mind-numbingly stupid. But not everyone's looking for profound conversations. Some ladies just want to be with a nigga who's got his shit together. I know, because when I was 19, they wasn't checking for me. You want to know why they weren't checking for me? Gotta have an apartment. Ain't nobody trying to come back to my mom's basement. Sorry, it is what it is. Once you got your place, once you're more established, women are far more open to dating you and to going back to your place. It is what it is. That's why women traditionally date men who are older. How many times did you know girls in high school who had boyfriends who were 5, 6 years older? And they was like, it's my favorite. Why? Because he knows how to dick me down good. Why? Because a nigga got experience. I just don't get this world. It's everybody's aiming to be a victim in every situation now. You have no agency, apparently. Well, like, what about the you want to be a groupie, bitch? Be a groupie. You want to be a groupie, bro? Go fuck Adele. I don't give it. I don't care. Adele had a boyfriend who made substantially less than her. She was fucking him well. She enjoyed it, and he enjoyed it. Is that Skepta? What?
I'd fuck Adele.
Current or previous? Both?
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't care.
I'm on the current side.
On the skinny side. I don't care.
Hello from the other side. You know, but listen.
As long as I'm gonna have a face, Adele's gonna have a place to sit on.
All right, I ain't mad at that.
Big or skinny.
Either you're grown enough to make decisions in society or you're not. And if you're not, then let's have a discussion about everything. But they never do that. They never talk about student loans like that, whether or not they should be allowed to take those loans. They never talk about the military like that. They only talk about it with sex because this weird society has an obsession.
A problem with sex.
Has a problem with it. And it's like,
sex.
it's a very, like you go to Europe, they don't have these conversations. This is like a North American weirdo
We
shit.
have a problem with sex.
That's it.
Like I said before, she's 20. The way you talking about it, she's like she's 15 or some shit like that. She 20. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
If she's legal, let's keep it pushing. There's no conversation.
They think this is cool. They think it's a way to something, money, power, fame. Maybe they have issues of their own. I know mine was issues with my father and not having a father figure.
That's a you. If you got daddy issues, good for you. That's your problem. Don't project that onto everyone. Everyone thinks because I did it and I had a terrible time. If you do it, no, bitch, that's a you problem.
Oh no, I know what this is.
That's a you problem.
No, I know what this is. This is a no.
You're not dealing with it, but actually like, jumping to another problem. There's so many different levels of why a young person would do this, and none of it's their fault because they're learning and growing, and it's shame on the almost 40-year-old for doing this, for causing more trauma into this person's life.
Crazy how they have zero culpability in this kind of situation. Let them go rob a bank and you won't be saying that stupid ass shit.
I don't care how mature she is. I don't care how young you think you are. You're a 39-grown-year-old man. Make the right decision and not be a creep. And he refers to himself when he's like, sometimes I feel like a creep. He said, I almost felt like a creep when she said, do you want to play Minecraft? So he's already thinking, is she too young for me because she plays Minecraft? If you think she's too young for you, she's too young for you, bro.
You have grown-ass men watching anime. That's a young shit. It's cartoons.
I mean,
No, not because you watch it. You watch it.
it's not.
No, it could no. If I think,
Japanese culture, anime is not. I'll just be honest with you.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But if in my mind, I think it is. There's grown ass people that play Minecraft. She thinks I ain't too young. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. There's people that do things that are. There's a bunch of adults that have a bunch of action figures.
You're right.
It doesn't matter if you think it's you. She's a kid. Oh, that's kids. It doesn't matter.
But Keem will attack. I'm ready for it. He's gonna attack me, Facebook, whatever. They're all gonna attack me because of like, oh well, you know, Trisha's past, like she did this, and this, or whatever like that. But I'm not ruining someone's life. I'm not manipulating someone way younger than me and ruining their lives for a quick fix, a quick pleasure, a quick pump, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, when you were fucking up other people's lives or creating drama for them, you were doing it for noble causes. You're such a wonderful person. Okay.
And FaZe tries to rationalize it, well, like,
Jesus
with like,
Christ,
well,
man.
if it's consensual, I'm sorry, the legal age should be 25. I know it's legally, totally different things, but they're also kind of like the same thing. It's like you should know better as an. But if they're over 35 and you're under the age of 21, 25, whatever. There's something seriously wrong with these people, with the older person pursuing the younger. There's something seriously wrong with them, seriously disturbed with them, that they can't get someone their age, that they don't want to get someone their age because they're so psychologically messed up, they're so stupid, there's something so...
All you bitches were on George Clooney's ass. I didn't hear all you on George Clooney's ass, Nick Carter, Brad Pitt, all them old motherfuckers, Antonio Sabato Jr., but now, 2021, you're brand new. Shut the fuck up about your dumb shit. You were on damn old niggas' asses, and then now it's not good no more. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. She's 20. I don't give a fuck. This ain't a thing. You're trying to make a thing out of something that is not a thing. This is not a thing. This is not a problem.
You man.
You're a magician. You're making drama out of thin air. It's not a thing.
The girl's not complaining.
What, you think YouNow is?
That's it.
Everything.
But now they're trying to create this whole victim scenario where the girl might look at it and she might get gaslit into thinking something happened when it didn't. It's a weird world, my friends. She just said, guys, I want you to peep this. She just said the age of consent should be 25.
25.
25. She says you're not an adult responsible enough to make decisions for yourself until you're 25. This is how I already knew this was going this way. When the Call Me Carson thing happened and 19 and 17-year-old got together, everybody lost their minds. I'm like, you fucking losers. What are you? They're 2 years apart.
79.
Now,
Hell
20-year-old.
yeah.
He said some dumb shit about that, which I think is hilarious. This is the slippery slope that I was telling you guys about. I knew this was coming. They're going to find some dumb justification.
You guys are
There's so
idiots.
many reasons why dudes go for younger women, whether it's virility, being able to have kids, or whether they just came out of a divorce and they just want some hot piece of ass because the youngest girls look better. It is what it is. Keep it pushing. It's not for you. You don't think cougars get out of marriages and then want to go for young dudes because they're strong? There's not something wrong with them. They want a good sex life because niggas their age are traditionally lazy and they're not checking for them. It's not rocket science. But I feel like people don't want to understand it. They live in this delusional, idealistic world of what it's supposed to be like.
Because they're so psychologically messed up, they're so stupid, there's something so deeply disturbed, misogynist, or whatever the case is with this person, that they can't find someone somewhat compatible within their age range or in like the 10-year age range.
The 10-year range. How is that? So 10 years?
Arbitrary.
That's good. That's good. Who made that up?
She did.
Who made that up?
And she's going to judge you if you don't follow her random guidelines.
Man, fuck out of here.
I'm 33 and I'm dating a 63. I'm 33. I've lived my life and my brain is fully developed.
Not the way you speak.
And I thought, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Not the way you speak.
You can like it and enjoy it and be happy, and it's still wrong. It's still messed up.
Just because you suffer. Again, this is one of those things where, because it happened to me, it's going to happen to you. I got into a car and I got in a car accident, so you're going to get into a car, you're going to get a car accident. This is the dumb shit that we're at the end. We're at the end. Look, listen, guys. I was mad then when they did it to the random dude, Carson, and I think it's stupid now. And I think it's going to continue being stupid going forward. We are essentially infantilizing adults, especially women. We're saying women are these weak little meek things that need to be protected, even past the age of 18, at the age of 25. And you know what? They're going to move the goalpost again. They're going to always find ways to move the goalpost.
Yo.
So this is what I'm going to say.
Stop moving the
This is what I'm going to say.
goalposts.
This is what I'm going to say. If you want to be an adult, understand the responsibilities that comes with the choices that you make, okay? And there's no guarantee. Like, listen, women are dating niggas their own age and still getting heartbroken and up and manipulated. It has nothing to do with, like, this age gap. Is there more propensity for this person to have more power? Sure. But guess what? Motherfuckers like power. People like people that can do things for them. If a girl wants to get with a man who can get her nice things,
Sup,
take her to nice
stoner
restaurants, who are
beach.
you to stop her and say you don't have the agency?
Thick.
We are infantilizing adults, and it's just a reflection of our inability to accept accountability for the choices that we're making. So that's why I'm going to stop it there. And the last thing I'm going to say, I find it funny that women, by all scientific measures, mature faster than men, both mentally and physically. And yet when a 19-year-old male gets with a 17-year-old woman, you guys think there's some great imbalance and they're not ready for each other maturity speaking.
I was about to say that. I was about to leave on that. But really, the last thing I'm going to say before I get the fuck out of here, if I was a woman listening to that, I'd be fucking pissed. Because that's insulting to you motherfuckers. That's it. It is. It is. You're stepping on here, calling us all bunch of type of misogyny shit. That's
Okay. This next part. I'm showing the Zero in particular. Because it's a meme.
Zero.
And I don't freaking care, you now. You can say all you want. Oh, God damn it. Come on, work. Work for the joke. My mouse. Oh, there it is.
I'm gonna.
Where this is going.
I like where it's going.
No, John Trone's reaction.
Bad touch.
Meme.
Bad touch. Stranger danger.
They better make a damn
You better,
fifth
you
season.
understand.
They better.
This
You don't know what
is.
you're doing here.
Season 4.
This is Heroes?
Yeah. They changed the whole animation style after season 3.
Yeah, because because they freaking the artist didn't like where the arc was going. He didn't like it. The story didn't like how it was going, so he pushed it off on someone else.
Oh, great. So it's like, screw you, we hate your art, so yeah, let's just
Dude,
get a new
the
studio.
first 3 seasons, the art was beautiful.
Hell yeah, it was. The 4th season, I'm questioning what the frick happened to Rias's hair.
Why did they make it so cutesy?
Why they censored the damn... Yeah.
Speaking of Heroes, I have Heroes, and I have the first season. I like the art style in season 1, 2, and 3 because the hair actually looks like hair. It doesn't look like one solid mass.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that.
And the eyes look different.
Oh, God. Very someone who reviewed it. I'm a freaking... Yeah.
Season 1. Born is good. New is good. Born is good. Heroes is... They better redeem that shit. Unless it bombed out so bad. But I liked it. I liked High School DxD. It's my favorite anime still. Literally, my background is Riz Gremory.
Oh, God, I got too many favorites of this rate. Although I keep quoting Cowboy Bebop the most, so yeah.
Well, of course.
And I have the damn soundtrack.
I have an autographed copy of the Blu-ray.
Meh.
By,
Hey, what's up, Mash? Oh, my
Bye.
brain breaks.
by Spike Spiegel.
Oh my God! I want to meet Steve Blum. I wish he was making an
Dude.
appearance at the next con I was going to, but eh.
I got to work his autograph, his meet and greet line.
Nice.
I got to hang out with him for 2.5 hours. Because that's how long my shift was.
Damn.
And lo and behold, I got to another shift at another part of the con, and a voice actress for Riz Gremory was there. Fuck!
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn
like,
it, your
wait.
waifus.
No, this is what I said. I looked at the setup for the next voice actress. I deadlocked the image that was all the way across the hallway, all across the room, the big, massive con room, through thousands of people. I said, I know that butt. I know them titties. Riz! I ran all the way up there and said, fuck, I missed it!
The hell?
I was so bummed out, man.
I
I didn't get my Rios autograph, but I got something better.
It's
What?
become defined
I got a
by its
hug from
Oscar
her
wins,
in an
which
elevator.
is maybe in some ways a little unfair, but
Nice.
instead of kind of the
That
the
shit ain't
charming
leaving
story
my
that
brain
it
for
is, and
nothing.
instead of kind of the nice romantic comedy that has a lot of clever aspects to it, that it is, the enjoyable movie that it is, it's ultimately going to be the movie that beat Saving Private Ryan for the Oscars. So, you know, a lot of people, if they hadn't seen the movie,
Thanks for 50
will
mash.
come with that kind of bias, and they'll, if they do decide to seek it out, they'll be doing it to want to see this movie. What is this movie that beat Saving Private Ryan? And already kind of decide to hate it before you.
These for the day. Oh damn! Thanks for the freaking.
A lot of controversy still around.
171.
Some people would say, "Oh, it was the whole Weinstein campaign. How they aggressively campaigned and finally, forced the Academy into voting for them." Others would say, kind of two big war movies maybe canceled each other's out in the Academy's eyes. Others may say, after Titanic's monumental, huge wins, they maybe wanted to go something with maybe a little bit smaller than the big budget Hollywood epic that Saving Private Ryan would be. So there's a lot to consider there when it comes to the Academy portion of it.
The next link is the why.
Oh.
And I always wondered why. Morgan, are you there?
What? Yeah.
It's playing the terminal.
What?
We
How-
don't want. That was a full
Oh,
freaking
this-
movie.
Oh, there's a minute.
The next link explains how and why Shakespeare in Love won over
1999 was
Saving Private
a
Ryan.
year
It's just
at the
wrong.
Oscars. Host Whoopi
And
Goldberg
Harvey
did like this,
Weinstein
Roberto
is
Benigni
a
did
dirtbag.
this, half of the jokes were about this, and people weren't sure how to react about this. But despite
Of
all
course,
of
you
that,
insert Bill.
the Oscar coverage was about this. As Vincent Canby of the New York Times put it, Saving Private Ryan was lyrically humiliated when Shakespeare in Love took home Best Picture. Since its release in the summer of 1998, Saving Private Ryan had been the odds-on favorite, so when it lost Best Picture and several other major awards, the press and industry stepped back and asked themselves why. For most people, the answer was this guy. Harvey Weinstein may be the most taboo figure in Hollywood right now, but for a long time, it was impossible to imagine the Academy Awards without him. He didn't invent campaigning for awards. It's been going on since the Oscar was a glimmer in Louis B. Mayer's eye. But his campaigns for The English Patient, Chicago, The Artist, and more earned him the reputation of having invented the modern Oscar campaign. His success was so pervasive that most of Hollywood seemed willing to overlook his abusive behavior just to get in on it. More on this later. I usually talk about best actresses on this channel, and believe me, we'll get to Gwyneth. But in this episode, I wanted to spend some time on what made Harvey successful, not only because
you
his
get to
tactics
Gwyneth
were
now.
integral to Gwyneth and Shakespeare in Love's wins, but also because the systems he created provide valuable insight into what campaigns look like today. I don't outline this stuff to make him sound impressive or to applaud him for his work. In fact, I think a lot of what he did damaged the integrity of the awards even further. But the fact that the industry replicated his methods
Yo,
tells us
Legend,
a lot
thanks for the
about its
10.
values, and a lot about why he got away with the shit he did for so long. In this video, I'll use the 1999 Oscars, and Gwyneth in particular, as a case study to learn what gave Harvey his power, and talk a little bit about why all of this feels horrible and gross. In 1979, Harvey and his brother Bob founded Miramax in Buffalo, New York. By the 1990s, Miramax had emerged as the most profitable, recognizable distributor of low-budget, critically acclaimed indie films in the United States, aided by its
Clerks.
1993 acquisition by Disney.
Yes.
Awards recognition became the cornerstone of Miramax's growth strategy, both because of the Oscars' very real economic implications and its symbolism as the benchmark of excellence.
The kinds of movies that Miramax has tend to make a lot of their money after they make an Oscar nomination. It used to be that by the time the Oscars came around, we were mostly dealing with movies that had come and gone from theaters. It's not as true today with the smaller independent films and the foreign films. An Oscar nomination can mean you can double your grosses.
But the degree to which they focused on the Academy Awards felt different. As Bill Mechanic, then chairman of Fox Filmed Entertainment, told the New York Times in 1999, Harvey Weinstein was unusual among studio executives because he was consumed above all with winning Oscars. Quote, "They focused on one thing, the Academy Award process. So what tangibly did Harvey do to earn that reputation? Let's do a brief, high-level overview of his tactics. First, Miramax sought access to Academy voters wherever and whenever possible. In Peter Biskin's book, Down and Dirty Pictures, former publicist Mark Ehrman described how Miramax set up screenings at the motion picture retirement home, for example, because Academy members lived there, even if they were on life support. They'd find out where people holiday in the period between Christmas and New Year's. If it's in Aspen, they have screenings in Aspen. If it's in Hawaii, they'd have screenings in Hawaii. Miramax also targeted members individually, often calling them to nudge them in the right direction personally. In 1997, one Miramax representative allegedly convinced a retired actor to nominate Billy Bob Thornton for Best Actor in Sling Blade, even though the member barely even knew who Billy Bob Thornton was and originally assumed that Sling Blade was a Sylvester Stallone movie. Once an Academy member saw the film, Miramax utilized its savvy press relationships to keep the film top of mind. The LA Times stated that Miramax was the best at inducing the media to write and broadcast feature stories, creating a climate of anticipation, and then providing story ideas to keep the momentum going once the movie was in theaters. They provided ample opportunities to expose their talent to the press, lavish parties, galas, even gimmicky events. One of the most famous examples of this occurred when Harvey arranged for Daniel Day-Lewis to appear before Congress in support of the Americans with Disabilities Act. This was part of his successful Best Actor campaign for playing a man with cerebral palsy in My Left Foot. Miramax also invested heavily in advertising, especially in trade publications like The Hollywood Reporter and Variety. In 1997, the New York Times estimated that Miramax's Oscar season trade ads accounted for about 40% of the 200 pages devoted to award season promotions, a substantial portion of which was targeted specifically at Academy voters. If you pay attention to Oscar campaigns now, a lot of this might look really familiar. What once seemed like a studio's singular obsession now is an entire industry.
Man, you changed.
Because everybody noticed that it
changed,
works
man.
really, really well.
I look away.
As the saying goes, Harvey Weinstein
hair,
is
now
thanked
it's a
more
blue
often
hair. What
than
the
God
heck?
at the Oscars.
Harvey
Damn.
Weinstein, Bob Weinstein, Harvey.
Harvey and
I
Bob
zoned out
Weinstein.
there for a minute.
And Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
The Mashbuka Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein.
Especially Harvey.
And God, Harvey Weinstein. The Punisher. Old Testament, I guess.
According to Forbes, Weinstein's ability to orchestrate Oscar nominations and translate them into wins resulted in 341 nominations and 81 Academy Awards for films he and his brother produced or distributed. These numbers built the mythos of Harvey Weinstein. Like I said at the beginning of this section, wins bring money and prestige.
These are
This
the
guy had a whole
mash.
lot of both, meaning a whole lot of power. And never was that more on display than in 1999 in what is considered his seminal masterpiece of Oscar campaigning. In July 1998, Saving Private Ryan was released to rave reviews, almost instantly becoming an American classic. Stephen Hunter's review in the Washington Post captured the fanfare most vividly. Quote, "There are movies, and then there are movies. And then there is Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan. Searing, heartbreaking, so intense it turns your body into a single tube of clenched muscle. This is simply the greatest war movie ever made, and one of the great American movies." End quote. Then, that October, Shakespeare in Love came out. And while it didn't receive "this is the peak of cinema" fanfare, it did receive surprisingly positive reviews, to the point that many critics reevaluated Saving Private Ryan's certain hold on Best Picture. Saving Private Ryan versus Shakespeare in Love made for good press. The films had
Saving
drastically
Private Ryan
different
should have
tones and
won.
represented the best of the weird amount of Elizabethan and World War II films that came out in 1998. They also represented interesting industry dynamics for the press to unpack. Articles pitted indie culture against
Miramax.
studio blockbuster culture, and more specifically, positioned
Besides,
the race
it's
as a personal
Spielberg for
competition
crying out
between
loud.
Harvey and DreamWorks' Jeffrey Katzenberg, who, as former chairman of Walt Disney Studios, had helped orchestrate Disney's acquisition of Miramax. So generally speaking, the behind-the-scenes drama provided a more compelling narrative for the press than the actual merits of the films. Miramax's campaigning played a huge part in this, because not only did Harvey run his usual game, but he also upped the ante.
Is it different this year for any reason?
It's scrappier this year, haven't you noticed?
Scrappier.
Quite a bit of wrangling going
And
on.
what's going on?
Well, The campaigning is a little more stressful, I think, on all sides than it usually is.
Is this all because Miramax is such effective marketeers of their program, of their movies, and so therefore the old guard in Hollywood has rebelled against that?
That's one way of describing it.
This was a pretty widespread sentiment. Richard Corliss wrote in Time that, quote, "The fact that most people even think that this is a horse race is mostly a tribute to Weinstein's entrepreneurial savvy," end quote. Nikki Fink's infamous piece in New York Magazine highlighted both Miramax's tactics and the resulting discontent of industry peers. First, there was the spending. Damien Bona, co-author of Inside Oscar, described being bombarded with Miramax ads. "It's nothing new," he said. "They've always done this, but the degree to which they've done it this year is astonishing." Fink noted that, quote, "True independents might spend up to $250,000 on an Oscar campaign. Major studios, $2 million. But Miramax was estimated by competitors to have spent at least $5 million in its campaign for Shakespeare in Love." Katzenberg later admitted that this figure prompted DreamWorks to spend more promoting Saving Private Ryan. For in-person campaigning, Miramax hired, quote, "a fleet of ultra-veteran Hollywood publicists who happened to be Academy members to schmooze their fellow Academy colleagues. They were paid not just during the 5-month Oscar season, but nearly year-round, a practice which was then unheard of elsewhere in the industry." Miramax also threw a Welcome to America party for British Shakespeare in Love director John Madden that just happened to have several Academy voters present, seemingly violating a 1997 Academy rule that deemed it improper for studios to host receptions or dinners for Oscar nominees to which Academy members were also invited. Then there were the covert bad-mouthing efforts. Whisper campaigns that claimed Saving Private Ryan's only real value was in the first 20 minutes, and after that wasn't worth much of anything. Weinstein himself imparted this to at least one
that is
major
the
critic.
highlight of the film.
These efforts, of
but
course,
there's
paid
other
off,
stuff that
and
is
Harvey
very
himself got
tense.
to accept the Best Picture award. Eliza
You could
Perrin
agree
notes in
with
Indie
me, right,
Ink,
right?
quote, that Shakespeare in Love's
Yeah.
1999 Oscar victory both reaffirmed
I
Miramax's
cried at
status
the
as one
end
of the
for
key
crying out loud.
distributors of niche-targeted films in the 1990s, and confirmed that the company had effectively honed its marketing skills, end quote.
Ow.
Obviously, Shakespeare in Love's win was more complex than Harvey campaign's good. Many articles cited screeners, which are copies of films Academy members can watch at home, as a factor. Shakespeare in Love could play much more comfortably on VHS, as it would have been back then, than Saving Private Ryan, which benefits from the grandeur of a big screen. The Academy tends to like films about the artistic process, so jokes like this...
And the title of this piece?
Mercutio. Is it?
I will play.
land really well. Many voters considered Saving Private Ryan too violent, which prompted some speculation that women didn't like it, which frankly seems like a very 90s assumption to make. Even Saving Private Ryan's release date was seen as a disadvantage. 8+ months is a long time to sustain favoritism, especially when you have people actively working against you. But undoubtedly, campaigning helped shape the conversation about these films, and that conversation only benefited Gwyneth Paltrow's path to stardom was relatively fast-tracked. The daughter of TV producer Bruce Paltrow and queen of stage and screen Blythe Danner, she had grown up with the theater, eventually starring alongside her mother on the Williamstown stage. By age 19, she had the role of Wendy in Hook. In 1993, she received her first critical acclaim for Flesh and Bone. Her celebrity took off as she and Seven co-star Brad Pitt became Hollywood's newest it couple. Then, Harvey Weinstein and Miramax came calling. Gwyneth, who Harvey eventually referred to as the First Lady of Miramax, was exactly the kind of star Harvey wanted on Miramax's team. Eliza Perrin writes, quote, "In an attempt to stay ahead of Fox Searchlight, Sony Pictures Classics, etc., Miramax signed a growing number of talent agreements and offered more of the back end to key individuals. The idea was to mimic some classic Hollywood business practices, enlist a number of likable young actors to star in sweeping historical epics. So it wasn't long before he gave her Emma, an adaptation of the Jane Austen novel, as her first star-making vehicle. Then came Shakespeare in Love, and major critical acclaim with it. Leah Lowenstein of Variety wrote that she had, quote, a luminosity that made Viola irresistible. Peter Travers wrote in Rolling Stone that she had, quote, never looked more radiant or acted with such spirit, and made Will seem a changed man after one gander at her nipple. Wait, what? God! As the buzz around Shakespeare in Love increased, so did her profile, culminating in a Best Actress nomination. Her fellow nominees were Cate Blanchett in Elizabeth, Fernanda Montenegro in Central Station, Meryl Streep in One True Thing, and Emily Watson in Hillary and Jackie. Now, we sort of look at this race in retrospect as being between Kate and Gwyneth, and ultimately it was, the two split awards fairly evenly going into Oscar night. However, critics largely believed that Fernanda Montenegro, Brazil's First Lady of Theater, gave the best performance of the year. And while she did win some critics' awards, she was never taken seriously as a real contender for the Oscar, which I'm sure has nothing to do with the Academy's excellent record on Latinas. It was easy to frame Kate and Gwyneth as part of a head-to-head race, because while they don't really have comparable roles, their films share time, place, and characters. They even share a lover, literally. But Gwyneth had two distinct advantages. First, people liked Shakespeare in Love a lot more than they liked Elizabeth. Reviews and box office corroborate this, as do the results of the Oscars, with Shakespeare in Love taking home 7 and Elizabeth taking home just 1. Second, and this is where Harvey helps, Gwyneth's press coverage was widespread and had a very specific tone. While researching this video, I was practically tripping over comparisons of her to Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly. She embodied the archetypal Hollywood ingenue, and reporters often used phrases like, "It's her moment," and predicted that Shakespeare in Love would define her as the star of her generation. It seemed like there was a fascination with her as a cultural figure that Cate Blanchett never really had, and while that's not always a factor, it definitely reads that way here, especially given what we know about the extensive behind-the-scenes campaigning.
Are you here of your own free will? Has someone coerced you into being here?
Do you count Harvey Weinstein as a coercer?
Now, Harvey Weinstein is I don't know whether he's in some kind of organized crime now, but he used to be like some kind of junior mob kind of guy, right? He was like in the mob auxiliary.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, and now he's like a big, powerful film guy, right?
Yes, I do all my movies for Harvey Weinstein. That's Miramax for all of you.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to do them there, but he will coerce you to do it.
And so Harvey's.
Knowing what we know now, it's impossible to look at this win the same way we might have even a few years ago. Gwyneth ostensibly represented the fairy tale version of what stardom was, and yet behind the curtain, she was stuck in what she recently described as a classic abusive relationship, and had already fended off Harvey's propositions. Of course, she was one among many for him. By this time, he'd already settled several sexual assault cases. Cynically, I know I'm going to receive comments along the lines of, "Didn't he get her an Oscar? Why should she complain? Can we really feel bad for her?" First of all, yes, because abuse in any form is wrong. Secondly, women shouldn't feel like they have to withstand abuse in exchange for work. Harvey silenced women through threats and legal action, but so did a culture that normalized the belief that you just have to ignore it if you want to succeed. Gwyneth, a very beautiful white girl from a prominent family, was petrified, convinced that her refusal would get her fired. Imagine how women less lucky than her felt. And it wasn't just Gwyneth. For every actress he helped, another was destroyed. Add to this that no one thought Harvey Weinstein was a nice, chill guy who could never abuse people. In fact, probably the best known thing about him, other than his business savvy, was that he was an abrasive, manipulative asshole. There are hundreds of articles about this dating back to the 80s. In 2004, Matt Damon called him a scorpion. Rolling Stone called him a big bad wolf. It goes on, and it was all public. Even if we give people the benefit of the doubt and assume none of them knew about the sexual assault, they were still completely fine with this otherwise offensive behavior. Why?
I was going to say, don't you think everybody in Hollywood is actually just dying for Miramax to run a campaign for them? I mean, I can't imagine too many actors are offended by Miramax. They're just waiting to have a Miramax movie so they can win an Oscar someday.
It's actually part of the reason they're able to get all these actors to sign on for no money in these movies. They know that their odds of getting a nomination are probably twice as high when they're in a Miramax movie. It's a fact.
For this. For an 8.5-pound little gold man. That is the exchange rate for politeness, professionalism, for women's bodies. Historically, society has been very forgiving of talented men who do bad things, and the past couple of years have certainly proven that Hollywood was/is extremely guilty of this. I don't think it's a coincidence that his downfall occurred during his weakest professional streak since the 80s. Remember Tulip Fever? Yeah, neither did any Academy members. My point is, to a certain extent, the Oscars have been shaped in Harvey's image, and the Oscars are also part of a power structure that allowed him to exist as a predator for so long. It's painful, I think, to know all of this about him and simultaneously realize his influence on movies I really love. To watch him be praised and rewarded over and over, and to know that in the minds of some audience members, it was all worth it. So when I see these speeches now...
The other guy that we really need to thank, though, is Harvey Weinstein, who had the guts, the courage, the commitment to make this picture and get it done. Here he is.
I wonder, are they still thankful?
Probably not.
Alright, we got another thing and then Heather's other thing.
Hello young viewers of the world, Senpai Musnuts here, and this is a 30-second ad about the awesome social media app that I found for us otakus called Anime Communities and Chats. You can easily download it from the Play Store.
I used to be on a YouNow.
UI,
I freaking left it.
Fans like me and you socialize and organize terrorist attacks. It has many communities like fashion, music, psychopathy, cannibalism. Just join the anime community using the Explore tab as I showed you in the video. And you can create chat rooms, polls, like I said, the community. And the best thing is that it is free. So come on kids, get in the van and follow me at Senpai Must Know This. And also follow my public chat, which is under the same name.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's go right into the news.
Take care of him. Clever girl.
Yes,
but
please.
Alas, you've exposed yourself.
We swear it's money.
Catch up with the train. We can't be far behind. Do you hear that? We must be getting close. Hold on.
Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
I'm Michael Jordan.
And the freest Grimmery's virginity is going to anyone. It's me!
Stop it. Get some help.
Man.
Be a good boy and say hello. Okay.
Yeah, ISIS niggas. Fuck yeah, ISIS niggas. We from New York. I'm from Brooklyn.
Hello, Akbar!
Oh, frick.
This must be cool.
Well, damn.
I'm shoving my fist up his ass.
Hello, Shirone.
Kuroka, what it do? What it do? What it do?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Asada. Totally called it.
Sorry.
Oh, Realm Keeps. Oh, you can't turtle bastard.
Hallelujah! Holy shit!
Don't be better. The more you know.
決意や知と才能を重んじて貴族らしく生きてこそ上級悪魔だ。それがこんな泥臭い真似をしないといけないなんてやってられるか。
Hate to break it to you, but you're not the only one with that technique.
Oh hell no!
Miss me with that gay shit, nigga. Fuck out of here. Fuck you mean, fuck boy.
Girlfriend,
Some
I had one, I guess, but she ended up murdering me.
Money makes the world go round, the world go round, the world go round. Money makes the world go round, it makes the world.
Jesus Christ, man. Juliet! Hi, Juliet!
So, Juliet.
Juliet's one of my new
Hey everyone,
followers.
before we get into today's video, make sure to go to makeship.com and check out the new Illuminati plush. It's a limited time offer, and I know a few of you guys were like, oh my god, the campaign ends on December. So I love what they made of My Name is Blair or the Illuminati, and today we're going to be looking into a church on this very fine Christmas day. Now, the word church is going to be used very, very loosely today, because today we're taking a look at the Westboro Baptist Church. Now, the Westboro Baptist Church has been on my radar for some time now, and for the most part, they're pretty universally hated. Their God hates F slurs signs, same-sex parents doom kids signs.